Imagine being Chuck Schumer and you just found this out about Mamdani. This from Ted Cruz.
I think she'll run for president. I don't think she will run for Senate, but I'm going to make a prediction for you, Sean. My prediction is Comrade Mamdani will be the next Democrat senator from New York, that Mamdani will replace Schumer. I think Mamdani is the single most powerful Democrat in the country. And I got to say, by the way, there are some Republicans that are celebrating. This is great. Our opponents are crazy. That's going to help us. I want to say for the record, I'm not celebrating.
I am celebrating. I'm happy our opponents are terrible. I don't want a functioning Democrat Party. I want them voted out of office forever. But what he said is that Chuck Schumer cannot win the Senate in New York because Mamdani's going to run. Mamdani, the terrorist who is the mayor of New York, is going to become the senator of the economic hub of New York, which makes it the economic hub of the entire planet. Listen to this lunatic in a recent speech on the Prophet Muhammad.
I think of the freedom from suffering that Buddhism teaches us is only possible.
Why is a Muslim preaching about Buddhism? What a cover-up.
We remove the three poisons of desire, hatred, and ignorance from our daily lives. We need not accept suffering as unchangeable. We need not treat hatred as the natural state. We have the power to set ourselves free.
Yeah, you can save yourself. He goes, we don't have to keep suffering as the default state. Well, Jesus said the poor will always be with you. But I love that you can save yourself. That's what this Muslim said. What about Allah? What about Muhammad? What about Sharia? You're not going to appeal to that to save. Just save yourself, says Mamdani. Now he's some new age terrorist leader of New York.
And I consider my own faith, Islam, a religion built upon a narrative of migration. The story of the Hijrah reminds us that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was a stranger too, who fled Mecca and was welcomed in Medina. Surah An-Nahl 1642 tells us, as for those who immigrated in the cause of Allah after being persecuted, we will surely bless them with a good home in this world.
Yeah, they worked through immigration through slaughtering their opponents, spread by the sword around the world, and here in New York.
Or as the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, Islam began as something strange and will go back to being strange. So glad tidings to the strangers. If faith...
Oh, yeah. Applaud, everyone. Yeah, it's strange, all right. My goal is for it to remain strange. Here's Chuck Schumer just massively floundering as he throws a fit that Trump is throwing Haitians out of the country.
Mr. President, the Haitian community is woven into the fabric of our great American family. But Donald Trump is trying to tear it apart by terminating Haiti's temporary protected status. As someone who takes great pride in representing the state that is home to the largest Haitian population in the country, I know just how important the Haitian community is to the American economy, to culture, to society. But unfortunately, Donald Trump clearly doesn't.
Why is Schumer preaching and defending the Haitians? Why is Mamdani only championing the foreigners and the strangers that come here? Don't these guys love America anymore? Don't they love their own country, our own culture that, yes, includes some Haitians? It will include some Buddhists and some Muslims. But Schumer's about to get thrown out of his own party as he tries to be more Mamdani than Mamdani. This is not going to work. And we'll get into the Haitian numbers of corruption. If you want to talk about other countries' cultures, what they do when we're here, we'll expose it all in a minute.
Has vilified Haitians with his bigoted attacks and stereotypes over and over again.
You're a bigot.
Now Trump is trying to force Haitians who are here legally to return to the dangerous conditions they fled in Haiti.
They're not here legal. They're here because they claimed refugee status, which everyone who got here, who wanted to get a better jacked up Honda with new rims, they said they were a refugee from a terrible country. Many of them were running from persecution. Most were not. They wanted their video games, Xbox, cable, and our jobs. They're here for the money. It is not about fleeing from some tyrant. And that's why so many of them, after they get citizenship or visiting status here, they go back to their home country to visit. If they were a refugee and it was terrible, they wouldn't go back.
Let's be clear. Revoking Haitians' temporary protected status will not only hurt them, it hurts our entire country. In New York, you can't go into a hospital, a nursing home, or a clinic without seeing scores of dedicated healthcare professionals.
This is another way of saying who's going to pick our fruit. I'm going to go to the Will Cain show because Brandon Gill was on it. He's going to go into the whole guilt trip of if you condemn a Muslim for what they are, you'll be called a racist. That's all Chuck Schumer is afraid of here. Here's Brandon Gill.
If you point out what's happening here, if you're truthful about what mass Islamic immigration has done to Great Britain, you're an Islamophobe, you're a racist, you're uncouth or unfit for dignified, civilized society, when the impact of that type of suppression of speech means that working class people have been brutally raped and tortured. And that's something that we deal with in the United States on a smaller level, but something we deal with now. If you speak out against mass Islamic immigration, you are denigrated and labeled a racist. And we have to be able to be truthful about these issues and straightforward that whenever you bring in large numbers of people from cultures that hold values that are entirely incompatible with our own, in this case, the belief that Muslims have more dignity and are superior to non-Muslims, that child marriages are okay, that Muslims can essentially subjugate other people, including young children, sexually. If you speak out against that, you're Islamophobic. We have got to get over that.
Yeah, I'm over it. I hope you all are over it too. Let me know in the chat below if you two are over it. Let's go to this. Here's Nick Shirley on the Haitian population, which he exposed. He says, here's the full 53 minutes of my crew and I exposing New York fraud. This is what Schumer should be talking about in agreement with Trump deporting Haitians. We uncovered over $190 million in fraud as these fraudsters used the elderly and needy to commit fraud through adult and personal home care scams in New York City. This is why Trump is reversing their immigration status or their ability to stay here. And Schumer's lying to you. Again, that's why I do not shed a tear that he's going to lose his job. Here's Ted Cruz wrapping up that statement.
Chuck Schumer, I believe, can never again win a Democrat primary in New York. I think he will not even run for re-election. I've joked that Schumer will be the inaugural member of the AOC for president campaign because he's terrified AOC will primary.
I don't think it's a joke.
Now I don't think, no, it's not a joke.
There's a poll out today that has her winning.
In New Hampshire, she's the #1 Democrat candidate in the country in New Hampshire. That's today's poll.
That's by a mile she's ahead. We'll get to that final clip of her running that party down. First, I wanted to do a brief message for the sponsor of all the shows my channel brings you. That's Chapter. Here's one of you from Jordan. If you're of Medicare age, call Chapter. 20 minutes to save upwards of $2,000 a year is well worth it. If nothing else, the peace of mind of knowing you are where you belong is well worth the 20 minutes. You guys tell the truth about Chapter all the time. You're going to call that number that benefits this channel. You're going to call 631-961-8696, and Chapter will help you compare every Medicare plan. Now, the final clip of AOC. Are you guys ready for AOC's presidential campaign? Because this is why Schumer's going to promote her for president so that she doesn't come after his Senate seat, but really the Senate seat is going to go to Mamdani. We predicted it first. You'll see it all roll out here in the future.
There was a UNH poll that came out that had you surging in 2028. Mm-hmm. When you see that, what do you think?
I feel very, humbled by the support of everyday people. I think that, polls go up, polls go down. That's kind of part of how all of this works.
Why do you think yours are going up right now?
You'd have to ask folks in New Hampshire. You'd have to ask them.
But does that change how you think about your future?
I think when I make decisions about my life, they aren't just rooted in polls. They're rooted in what people need, what is best for the country, and what is appropriate for the moment.
What's appropriate for the moment? Basically, she can't answer simple questions. That's what's so hilarious about putting her on the national stage. She's going to be a huge embarrassment. She has only floundered on the national stage. She will be an embarrassment. She's Kamala Harris 2.0, and I'm looking forward to her having to fight it out with the other word salad guy, Gavin Newsom, and Golem Mark Kelly. I'm Doug in exile.